Hi everyone, welcome back to GAMT-LF channel. We're going into the adrenal cortex next. The adrenal cortex is a little bit more complex. I know it's a thin layer on the top, but it actually secretes very important hormones that we need. Adrenal cortex has actually three layers. So this is a scanner. Probably I guess it's a big scanner, an office scanner. Okay, and then you have a tray here where the papers come out. Now I have an extra reinforced this tray because sometimes you take a lot of copies, and this is the leg of this copier, because you don't want the copy to be moving around. You don't need any wheels there. And this is the button with light in this copier, all flashing lights all over. And then you have the lid on top of the copier, and then you have this heat waves, or the light coming on, not the heat, the light wave coming out of the copier. Okay, I think that's all. That's what this is the GAMT we're going for. This is the GAMT we're going to use for the adrenal cortex. So GAMT we're going to use for the adrenal medulla is stapler. For the cortex is the copier machine. Okay, so let's go over it. So three layers. So it's called GFR. So GFR stands for glomerular filtration rate, right? So you're going to use the same here. So GFR is the name of this copier. So the G stands for zona glomerulosa. F is zona fascicularis. This is the outermost layer. The fascicularis is the middle layer, and zona reticulata is the inner layer. So there are three layers in the adrenal cortex. Okay, and it secretes two types of hormones. So you see the middle light of bulbous light resembles the letter G, so stands for glucocorticoids. Okay, and the lights coming out of this bulb or the switch stands for the letter M, which stands for mineralocorticoids. So the important mineralocorticoid in human body is aldosterone. Okay, all right. So mineralocorticoids and glucocorticoids are two hormones synthesized by the adrenal cortex, and it has three layers: glomerulosa, fascicularis, and reticulata. Okay. Now coming on to the outline of the copier. So it's the big copier here, and then you have the line in the middle, so it resembles the letter G again. This stands for gluconeogenesis. As with the adrenal medulla, the adrenal cortical hormones, also the steroid, the cortisols they call it, also increase the blood glucose level in the body. So gluconeogenesis means generation of glucose from sources other than carbohydrate. So it also helps in lysis of other tissues so that it releases more glucose. And you saw already the bottom of this machine should be kind of fixed, so resembles the letter R, which means it increases RBC production. Okay, so there's another endocrine gland which we saw already that increases RBC production, which is your thyroid, which is the mosquitoes inside the flower pot. Okay, if you remember that. Okay, and this one is on the floor of the adrenal cortex, and that increases RBC production. And then you come to the lid of the copier. So this side of the lid stands for I, which is important factor, which is reducing immunity. So corticosteroids gently reduce inflammation in the body, suppress the immune system in the body. So that's why these drugs are widely used to treat all the autoimmune diseases. So autoimmune diseases, your own body acts against your own organs, and the corticosteroids, by suppressing the immunity, reduces the production of antibodies and reduces the damage, right? So this is one of the most important actions of the corticosteroid hormones. Okay, so it's very important. And this stands for the letter L, stands for lysis. Lysis of adipose tissue, lysis of proteins. As we saw earlier, the adrenal medullary hormones, also called adipolysis, proteolysis, and carbohydrate lysis. The same thing happens here. Okay, cause adipose tissue lysis and protein tissue lysis. Okay. Then these are the actions of glucocorticoid hormones. So the next is action of the mineralocorticoid hormones, or the aldosterone. So the glucocorticoids are mainly responsible in the carbohydrate or the metabolism, carbohydrate metabolism. Mainly it is concerned with the carbohydrate metabolism. Okay, so it can gluconeogenesis and cause lysis of adipose tissues and proteins, and also plays a role in immunity and RBC production. Whereas the mineralocorticoids mainly responsible for the electrolyte balance, fluid and the electrolyte balance in the body. So see this line connecting the two sides of the lid resembles the letter N, so which means that which stands for sodium reabsorption. See, aldosterone causes sodium reabsorption. There are two rays coming out from this, the light rays. Okay, so each one of them is for the letter P. First is for potassium excretion, increased potassium excretion. The second one is increased phosphate excretion. So both these are important points that I need to remember. So the mineralocorticoid, the main actions of the mineralocorticoid are increasing sodium absorption, but it actually excretes potassium and excretes phosphate. It's very important to know this. And you see the tray here that actually catches the paper. So now, as we saw earlier, we're going to reinforce this plate to catch a lot of paper. So we have to have a double layer. So each one stands for A. The first A stands for androgenic steroids. So the adrenal cortex also secretes androgenic steroids, which also help in the secondary sexual character development. The other A stands for Addison's disease, which is a disease where the adrenal cortex, there's a reduction in activity of the adrenal cortex, a decreased production of hormones from the adrenal cortex. So this is called Addison's disease. It can happen due to a lot of different reasons, but it's one of the important diseases that you need to know. Okay, so happy. So once again, very quickly, so you have adrenal cortex, which has 3 layers: glomerulosa, fascicularis, and reticulata. And the 2 sets of hormones: mineralocorticoids, aldosterone, and glucocorticoids. The mineralocorticoids, it causes increased gluconeogenesis. Glucocorticoids causes gluconeogenesis, increase in RBC production. It also reduces immunity, causes lysis of adipose tissue and proteins. The mineralocorticoids increase sodium absorption, increase potassium excretion, increase phosphate excretion. The adrenal cortex also secretes androgenic steroids, and the reduction in the production of adrenal cortical hormones leads to what is called Addison's disease. Okay, all right. Now, going on to the next one, which is pancreas. Pancreas is relatively straightforward. So pancreas, as you know, it has 2 types of glands. It has exocrine glands, which secretes the pancreatic enzymes for digestion. It also has an endocrine gland, which are called islets of Langerhans. It constitutes only 1 to 2% of the entire pancreatic tissue. So it has 2 types of cells. It is alpha cells and beta cells. The alpha cells produce glucagon. The function of glucagon is to increase the glucose levels in the body. So it's kind of acts as an antagonizing hormone to insulin. Insulin, on the other hand, as you know, reduces the blood glucose levels. So insulin acts on hepatocytes and adipocytes. It actually increases the uptake of glucose into the cells. So when you have food, your blood sugar level raises because of the absorption from the gut. When the blood sugar level raises, the insulin is sent to the body and the insulin is released. This insulin drives this blood sugar back into the cell. So that's the important effect of insulin. All right. So that's about pancreas. It's very straightforward. It's very simple. So you just need to understand the concept. Glucagon acts kind of as a antagonistic hormone to insulin.